Thank you so much for coming today. Hello, David. I'm very happy to meet you. Hello, Angie. Hello, Erica. Hello, Jeffrey. Hello, Susanna. And of course, welcome, Carla. Carla, would you like to say a couple of words to start this Zoom call?
Sure. Thank you very much, Vendy and Skye, for doing this information meeting for all the people that are able to be here this evening. And I really thank you for taking the time to listen to what Vendy and Skye have to say this evening. And I hope that you like what you see and that you somehow will be interested in joining the cause.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Beautiful. So my name is Vendy Rios, and I'm the president of PhilanthroInvestors. And I'm very happy to see you, and I'm very happy that Carla has decided to join our forces and help us with Philanthro Investing. And I would like to also introduce the CEO of PhilanthroInvestors, Mr. Skye Logan.
Yes, thank you very much, Vendy. And thank you, Carla, for putting on, being the catalyst for putting on another great event. As everyone knows, I love to talk. So thank you for giving me the venue to do that. Absolutely. So hello, everyone. Greg, good to see you again. It's been a couple days since we've talked, of course. I'm glad to meet new people. Quite a few people coming in here. So what we're doing is, so this is being recorded. You got a message as you're coming in that it was being recorded, it is being live streamed. It will be broadcast and syndicated out to many different channels throughout our network of investors and partners and portfolio companies, etc. So I'm really excited to have you all here. Vendy will be between Vendy and Carla. I don't do the reading. I don't keep up a chat. I should. As a podcaster, as a webinar guy, I just don't. So I just like to talk. But if you have any questions while I am talking, go ahead and fill those out in the chat, and Vendy or Carla will chime in, answer, and they will try to butt in and throw an eraser at me and get my attention enough so I can answer some questions. What we'll do is, we'll have a Q&A period, some question and answers at the very end, where we can talk and answer questions. So here at the beginning, I'm just going to go through the presentation. What is PhilanthroInvestors? What is this thing that I would like to actually hear from many of you, that I'd be interested in who here is new to PhilanthroInvestors, doesn't have any idea. So David, hello. That's totally fine. I love it. I'm glad to be able to talk to brand new people for sure. Who else here? So I can see some people raising hands. Jeff, great. David, I'm not sure about Erica. Angie, not sure. Amber coming in, and all the people I see here on the live stream. I'm not able to see them. So great. So we do have some new people. Good. That'll give me an idea, the lingo I need to use and the conversation I need to have, as opposed to someone that knows everything about us. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of go over the presentation. What is PhilanthroInvestors? What is that 30,000 foot view, so to speak, and kind of go in and show the vision, the 50-year plan, kind of the direction we're heading and what we're doing. And the team members we're bringing in, the founders, the various team members and partners, okay? So without further ado, I will just share my screen here. Let's hope it, knock on wood, it goes to exactly where I want. So let me know if everyone can see my screen there. You should be able to see PhilanthroInvestors. Is that correct? Great, great, great. Okay, let me just get rid of some things on my screen because I can't see it particularly. Okay, so PhilanthroInvestors. So the reason you're here and Carla's brought you together, the reason we're all here, so we're a global movement. I like to call it a billion-dollar movement, a global movement that's changing. What we want to do is we want to move the needle on a global scale on various areas. We've all heard, we've all kind of reaching a point in our lives where we want to do more. We can create capital, we can create revenue streams, we can create there's lots of other things I could be doing, but I call it heart work. Okay. I need to do something with a higher purpose. I need to do something that at the end of my days, I have, I tell people I messed up one time and I said, well, I was actually lucky enough to be at the bedside of both my grandparents, my grandfathers, when they passed away. And what it meant to me, it actually allowed me to really kind of look at what was important to them at those moments, right? What was important to them. To be honest, they weren't looking at portfolios. They weren't looking at their assets, looking at all the land they own, their real estate assets and their trust structure and all that stuff. They really cared the family that was around them, right? That was holding their hands, that was right there. That's what made them smile and kind of carried them through those moments. And I've always been, my mom always told me this, like throughout my earlier days, I was always very insightful and always kind of much ahead of my time. And I like to kind of really look at how things work. So with investing, we look at what I simply want to do, what our founder, Ivan Ans, and what I have jumped in on as a partnership and CEO of PhilanthroInvestors is, and our president, Vendy's been here for quite a while, and the rest of the team and our various portfolio companies and everyone that's joining this movement, what we're doing is there's money spent on a lot of different things, investments, so much capital is deployed across a huge number of things that, to be honest, I want to raise their conscious level of I want them to be aware, say, what is your money going towards? I need you to look at where it goes, what are you forwarding? What do you believe in? So these conversations I have with investors, what do you believe in? Let's look at that. Okay, good. So your fund that you're invested in, have you really looked at what you're making money on, right? You would be shocked, absolutely appalled if you looked at and you assessed what your capital, what is your revenue? What are your gains? Yeah, capital gains taxes that we all love so much. What are you paying on that you're making that money on? So I really like to test individuals to really look at that. And to be honest, quite a few of them, they might not know, some of them do. It's just kind of hit or miss on who do and who don't. But I really like to challenge them to look at that. So what I want to do is I want to raise that, make them aware of what that is. And not only that, the problem is we look at I look at the time frame, not only on a 10-year, I love the Japanese mode of business. I love long-term thinking, etc. And I don't even want to plan, like I have for myself a 50-year plan, right? I thought that was tremendous until I found out that one of my friends, Darren, and Jeff, it was Jeff, that's right, and Jed, they actually have 100-year plans. Like literally, they showed it to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to step up my game. But so with philanthropy, we want to look at the trajectory of where is planet Earth going for my legacy, for your legacy, right? For each one of us that's on this call, my wife and I, we have 6 kids together. Okay. What world, not only for my kids, but my grandkids, my great grandkids, that trust structure that I'm laying out, that all of us are trying to put in play. We all think, oh, legacy. Okay, great. But, really look at that. What kind of world are you going to put them in? So that's the world that PhilanthroInvestors, that's the problem set we're looking at is, whereas the plastics, the oceans, are my great grandkids, I live on the beach, and are my grandkids going to be able to dip their toes in the beach, in the ocean? And these are the things that I look at. So, and air quality, we work in what we call life essentials. Okay, we're talking about basically, we've all heard of the rule of three, right? Air, of course, you can't live 3 minutes without air, or 3 days without water, or 3 weeks without food, etc. So these are obviously things that we're aware of, but we're looking at air, water, health industry. What is the health industry, doing right now? Like really doing, right? I think this planet needs a watchdog group, right? Like PhilanthroInvestors. That's really, I've worked with NGOs. I've worked with different companies, these different nonprofits, and you would just like, oh my gosh, you guys are deploying, you're receiving X amount of capital, $100 million or whatever it is you're receiving, and X amount is going to the actual target problem or that kind of thing. And I look at that and I assess it. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Like, are you guys really trying to solve the problem, or are you just like, so these are the things I've been raised to challenge. I was the guy in seminary class that was always challenging what they would say, and I always like to challenge the workable, like everyone knows and all that stuff. And I think that sets us apart. Many of you on this call, they're entrepreneurs, or you're trying to solve something. So what we want to do in these different verticals of air and water and earth, housing, energy, etc., is that we want to work in these different verticals to really and truly solve these problems. So our founder is Ivan Ans, and I'm going to play a short video here. Let me know if you're not able to hear that, but I obviously want to forward his message, because he's the visionary that's kind of forwarding a lot of things, and I'm just on the grounds kind of making things happen. So I want you to hear from him.
Ivan Ans is an Inc. 500 serial entrepreneur who has enjoyed not 1, but 2 years in the Inc. 500, now listed as 83rd of the fastest growing companies in the Inc. 500, and headed for a 3rd year. He's the founder and CEO of Capitan's Family Office, which comprise 3 strong divisions: business development, investments, and philanthropy. The business division is directed by the CEO and business strategist, Mr. Art Marin, with more than 50 years of experience ensuring Ivan's vision becomes a reality for the world. Their mission is developing and maturing businesses that have the potential to prosper, and with all the important factors of enhancing the condition of humanity. His Toyota dealerships rank as the #1 car dealership network in his state in Argentina, and expands Realty, the international real estate brokerage firm of the family office, is ensuring agents grow above and beyond financially and in their lives. Well known as the creator of the PhilanthroInvestor brand identity, along with his books, Ivan is constantly seeking to engage others towards the improvement of the world's most major social maladies. Housing problems, successfully addressed using housing philanthroinvesting by Equity and Help Inc., and now with its new startup, Equity and Help Ventures, opening the doors to the institutional investor to enjoy what individual investors have been experiencing for the past 7 years. Serious water conditions and scarcity are being addressed by water philanthroinvesting with Origin Clear, the water company for the new economy. Philanthroinvestor, golfer, and music lover, and having never met a person he did not love, Mr. Ivan Ans.
Yeah, I love that video. Every time I see it. So that's our founder, Ivan Ans, as it said. And so what we're doing as PhilanthroInvestors, like I said, so our vision, so what is our vision? So what we want to do is create a world where philanthropy and investing intersect. Okay, like I said, so what we want to do, there's so much capital being deployed, we want to simply redirect some of that towards philanthropic issues or global issues. So we want to empower individuals and organizations to make a positive and sustainable impact on society. Okay, so what we're looking at is a future where financial resources are leveraged strategically to address the world's most pressing challenges. So what we do is we want to assess what are those challenges, really for ourselves. We'd like to consider that we're fairly sane. We're not going to be sheep. We're not going to listen to what the problems are and all this stuff. We're actually going to really look what those are. We're going to vet our companies, vet our partnerships, really look at, are they moving that needle on a global scale? And is the most of the capital being deployed intelligently? So we're going to help them on business dev wise and capital raise wise and fund them in order to do that. So that's what we're building up in our portfolio companies and our fund, the PI, the PhilanthroInvestors Fund, in order to do that. Okay. So you saw a video at the very beginning in the waiting room. So there's obviously lots of problems. I could talk to you endlessly about the problems on a global scale. But we're simply going to be that solution. Okay. If the trajectory, again, it's a trajectory, we're looking at good, not only on a 10-year scale, 20, 30, 50, but 100, etc. What is it going to look like? We always hear about this Pacific island of plastic, the size of Texas kind of thing, and you just look at this, you start looking at its growth and you reverse that and you look, okay, what did it look like 10 years ago, 20 years ago? And then you start extrapolating that data over in the future and you start looking at like what that's going to be like. You look at these pictures of kids in India and they're swimming around with plastic bottles floating around them and various things, or air quality. And you look in China, and we obviously went through COVID period and all that. We're all wearing masks, etc. But you look even prior to that in Hong Kong and the air quality, and you look at these companies that are making tons of money on these masks that they have to produce because people can't even breathe, right? And you go, oh my gosh, what if what was happening in Hong Kong happened to the entire planet, right? This world, this post-apocalyptic world, this Blade Runner, Mad Max world, is this something that could really happen, right? And you go, yeah, it's actually happening on a micro scale. And if it just was allowed to grow unchecked, that is the world that we would have. And it's just, so that's what we want to do. Okay. So we're looking for partners. We're looking for investors. We want to just leverage that capital. If I can give you a return, if I can give investors, not if, what we are doing is we're giving returns equivalent to, if not better, than they're already getting, but I'm redirecting it towards handling global issues. It's a no-brainer. Like if I came to your door with a TV crew, News Channel 9, and I asked, like, I'm going to make you better money than you're doing right now, but I'm going to go handle poverty in Nigeria. Do you want to do that? What would you say? Of course, you'd be like, well, of course, got a news crew in your face. So you're it's kind of public relations at that point. But still, the point is like, who would like say, no, I'm happy where I'm at, making my money from, whatever it's being made from. So air. 8% of the world's, again, you saw the video at the beginning, so a lot of these statistics were gone over. Only 8% of the world's population lives in good air quality environment. Every day, 6,000 children die of water-related diseases. Look these up if you want to look them up. Air quality statistics. Any of you using ChatGPT? Yeah, ask the AI. Yeah, give me some statistics on environmental issues or something if you want. Water. More people die from unsafe water than from war. True statistic, true fact. 80%, this ain't fake news. 80% of water worldwide is released untreated. Right? US recycles only 1% of its water. Absolutely. Okay. Needs to change. Water is going to be, our one of our portfolio company partners, Origin Clear and Water on Demand subsidiary. They're fantastic things happening with them. Many of you know of what's going on there. I can't talk much about their path of water on demands, but they are handling this issue majorly. They're a company that we are partnered with and really helping them handle this issue, right? Water is the new blue gold. right? And many of us have heard this kind of term, and it really is. So they are going to be on the forefront of handling water on a global scale. The current water infrastructure is crumbling. More than 90% of all chronic and terminal illnesses result from just disease conditions, right? One of our partners, Fios Health Network, absolutely going to be handling this. I'm very, very excited about this company. Okay, very possibly going to be one of our more recent unicorns coming around. Right, we're in a disease-based model, and you can start. I helped start, and we built up 3 different facilities, a holistic drug and alcohol detoxes, and you can get me started all day long about the medical industry and the disease-based model that we live in, as opposed to, treating it holistically with vitamins and nutrition and things like that. So again, I want to push actual handlings, not like, oh, this is what everyone should be doing. Let's follow the APA-AMA guidelines on this is what we should do, and blah, 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 blah. No. What is the true data? What does biology really need? What's the holistic model that actually is true, right? And being able to think with that. Housing area, billions of families do not own their own homes because not everyone qualifies for bank loans, but they're not loan worthy. So obviously you've got that, that group of people that they can't qualify credit wise. So our housing partner, Equity and Help, provides housing for needing families, closing up on close to over 650, close to maybe 700 homes at this point. That's a lot of families. Imagine how many single moms with kids or just families with kids or whatever that they're providing housing to that they didn't qualify before. They're now owning a home less than the market rent in their area that they're at, right? In this case, the investor is simply the bank. They're being Wells Fargo. We're just duplicating success. We're duplicating that model and making the investor the bank and providing that financing for the family. So there's that. Energy, 940 million people do not have access to electricity. So these are, again, some of the verticals that we want to get into, right? Green energy, sustainable energy programs, various things like that. Other areas, structures, we obviously heard, was last yearish or whatever down in Miami, the apartment complex that completely crumbled around people. Plus, not only that, but the amount of these chemicals that leach into the environment. So there's lots of work that can be done there. Area of plastics, with our current portfolio partner, Z-Loop, many of you might know of. They're doing fantastic. They're well over 16,000 users across the globe, doing fantastic things. And 8 million tons of litter are dumped into the environment every year. Again, I mentioned all the plastics throughout the world. Don't get me started on that. The amount of microplastics. They test people that are like in the middle of the US, way away from oceans, way away from all this, and they find these microplastics in their tissues. So you look at, it's out of sight, out of mind. We have this out of sight, out of mind problem, like, it's way over there, child trafficking or poverty or plastics. I don't have to deal with it. Yeah. When you find this microplastics in tissues in the middle of the US kind of thing, and they've never been around or never lived, you're like, how does that get to you? Well, obviously nature is going to balance out. It's going to come around. So everything has to do with you. You're a member of this planet. You're a part of mankind. You have kids. If you don't have kids, nonetheless, you are part of this planet. So it has everything to do with you. So art, we definitely believe that art's a part of our life essentials that we have to live with. Art can go in a very bad and morally decrepit out ethics area. So we definitely want to do some work in that, especially moving into our tech and everything that's happened with VR and various things like that. I think this needs to be maintain as a true morally, area. So we're doing a lot of work there. Education, of course, literacy is and has been a pandemic. There are 1 billion illiterate people in the world. It's silly that in this day and age that the literacy is still something we haven't conquered as a people. I always like to, think that we need to move into the next day of being multi-planetary, this Elon kind of viewpoint or just other people's viewpoint. But we all work together. Like, oh my gosh, if we could just all get past our greed or our money or this and that and actually all come together and solve these issues, it would be a crazy planet, right? So despite all these poor and worsening conditions in society, billions of dollars are going in the wrong direction. I discussed that. I won't go into a lot of detail on that. I'm sure you have reality on what money could be spent on. Almost $500 billion are gambled worldwide every year, right? So if you will just look it up, right? What percentage, I mean, Google it right now if you want on the side of your screen. What percent of investors lose money in the stock market? At this time, 165 million results. Shocking but true, 90% of people lose money in stocks. So that's what we're talking about there. As this gambling, like, oh, I'm just going to do day trading, or I'm going to do these different stocks and, you know, blah, 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 and invest in funds. Like, how about you direct it into something that's going to be impactful, right? Philanthropic. So that's where we come in as PhilanthroInvestors, as that solution. And these are the conversations I have all day long. So a PhilanthroInvestor is someone who, and so again, philanthropy, an investor, obviously, is someone who invests money and time engaging emotionally to promote human welfare while earning a financial return. Okay, we're not talking about charity, right? Philanthropy is different than charity. We're not giving our money away. We're giving a hand up, not a hand out, right? We're giving a hand up. We want to help people. God helps those who help themselves, right? So what we want to do is give a hand up. We want to intelligently utilize our capital, deploy our capital in areas that we very well vet, in areas that's still going to give a financial return for your own legacy. Okay. So again, I went over the life essentials areas. So this is our wheel of life, as we like to call it, the various areas that our various portfolio companies and the fund that we're creating. At this time, our 5 different portfolio companies, et cetera, we're going to have that built out this time. Next year, it'll be a completely different scene. We'll be talking about tens upon tens. I can't say hundreds, but definitely over the next 5-year strict plan, I will have 100 companies underneath us, funds that I'm supporting and nonprofits and various things. So that's the work that we're into right now. And so right at this very moment, what I want to do is simply just enlighten you again. I want to increase that conscious level of your responsibility as a human being on this planet and challenge you to look at that. Good, still make your money. Of course, I'm not trying to change that. I'm just challenging you to look at ways to capitalize, to impact investing, right? Which is a term that we all hear, but the philanthropy, get involved in actually, again, giving a hand up to individuals, okay? Right now, at this moment, we have our portfolio companies, which I'll cover here in just a moment. We're in the area of water, health, housing, plastic recycling. So what we do is you make a point of contact with our president, Miss Vendy Rios, who's on the call here. She interviews you, determines what your interest level is, and you can invest in all or some or one or whatever it is. And she directs you to our lead partner for that particular portfolio company. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over briefly here on some of these. This is our CEO founder, Mr. Riggs Eckleberry of Origin Clear.
Hi, I'm Riggs Eckleberry, and if you're like me, you are dealing with a portfolio problem. The markets are not happy, they're getting worse, and going to cash is okay, except that cash itself is losing its value by the day. What do you do, right? I guess tough it out? Yeah, that'll work out over time, but meanwhile, the spouse isn't very happy, right? So, what do you do? One of the ways to deal with this is to invest in something that is just new, a strong, vital asset that is just beginning to make its run. An asset that has been coming out of a government monopoly and is now being done more and more by businesses. And this is called decentralized water, where businesses do their own water treatment, right? And, you know, a lot of people are doing this, some pretty big players like JP Morgan Capital, and they're doing very well. believe me. So how can you participate? Well, my company is the only one that enables everyday investors like you and me to actually participate in the profits, the annuities from these water projects. And they're set up, basically on a pay per gallon basis, just so the business is basically paying the way they're accustomed to paying the city, but they're paying our program, which is called Water on Demand. And you as an investor participate. Now, it's great because, first of all, there's some royalties. There's a measure of protection by the fact you can enforce the royalties with the water assets. That's built right in. There's also some amazing benefits in terms of stock, early stock that is potentially valuable. All these good things are stuff that you should discuss with my co-founder, Ken Berenger, and he will tell you exactly how it can work, and he will show you how your portfolio is here, water on demand is here, and all of a sudden, things are potentially very good. So this is worth doing. I really feel that you have the potential to right-size your portfolio. I kind of think of it as, Apple 1984, right? It's like so early and so powerful that it can deliver some amazing upside for you and your family. So with that, I recommend you contact Ken. All you got to do to schedule with him is in your browser, put oc.gold/Ken. Schedule with him. I think that it's going to be very, very good. And I wish you the very best in this economy. We all deserve to do well. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Riggs, for sure. All right, get into our health philanthropy investing company, Files Health Network, which I talked about very, very briefly, but I want you to hear from
48% of all adults are diagnosed with heart disease. Cancer accounts for 608,000 deaths each year. 33% of seniors are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Every year, there are around 2,375,000 deaths due to disease conditions that could have been prevented. But there is actually some hope on the horizon where your money has the capacity to earn while also changing people's lives. Are you willing to be part of that change?
Yep, I definitely am. Okay, this picture here in the middle, that's one of the co-founders, Mr. David Queenie, and fantastic gentleman there. And okay, so our housing company, currently Equity and Help is our housing philanthropy investing company, and Equity and Help Ventures soon to be launched. I want to show this here. This is probably just another 3 minutes.
Do you want to help families while creating a potential cash flow of 8 to 12%? Are you looking for a clear investment with clear results? Do you want to leave a legacy for your family and future generations? If so, here is the information you need to know. In the 1940s, the average American home cost $3,000, $30,000 in today's dollar. In the decades from the 1940s to the 1970s, the cost of a home rose in line with earnings. That meant a home had the same relative value in 1941 as in 1971. But from the 1970s onwards, the relative cost of residential property skyrocketed. To keep their dreams alive, homeowners took on mortgage debt of historic size, and to this day, many are now experiencing a loan repayment crisis, and foreclosures are growing. But there is an opportunity right now to build a stable foothold in residential real estate. Many who are involved in housing complain about the headaches that accompany investing as a real estate landlord. Renovation, maintenance, and tenant services are far from simple. Many landlords had simply given up. At Equity and Help, we built a unique business opportunity. We created a turnkey, profitable business that makes a difference in people's lives. housing philanthroinvesting is our turnkey business, philanthroinvesting is a very effective way to invest with a purpose. Philanthroinvesting can achieve a consistent 8 to 12% return, and you remain in the driver's seat. Here's how. 1. We research, select, and buy foreclosed homes across the United States. 2. We do the work needed to return the home to a sellable state. 3. As a philanthroinvestor, you review the homes available and purchase a minimum package of 3 homes for approximately $135,000. You're purchasing them at far below after repair value. You have now become the CEO of your housing portfolio. 4. We select and qualify working class families desirous of ownership. Those qualify become residents of your properties. 5. You receive a $1,000 down payment from each family. 6. You are now the lender and finance the balance at a 12% interest rate for 20 years. 7. They pay their real estate taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs. 8. We connect with the residents of your home regularly and maintain a relationship with each family. You get regular information as they establish their home. 9. You get a detailed monthly report on the growing value of your philanthro investment. 10. We charge nominal fees at each stage of the process. You remain 100% in charge of your turnkey business. Your capital grows and you enjoy a stable cash flow. You'll also enjoy heartwarming news about families' progress and enjoying anonymity as a buffer between you and the home buyers. You decide how to grow your business, helping families on their path to home ownership. Your philanthro investment will help children and their families all across the USA. Children of homeowners perform better in school. Children of homeowners have lower rates of drug use and criminality. Homeowners invest in their local community by volunteering for civic projects. Homeowners also historically report a greater sense of self-control and self-worth. In essence, you make a difference, and you make money while doing it. Speak to a housing philanthro investing consultant today. Improve your life while improving the lives of children, families, and communities.
Fantastic. Good. So one more here. So equity and help. So again, all this information you can get as a deeper dive. This is a super fast overview. It's way too long of a conversation to have on all these portfolio companies and the others to come. The 4 or 6 that I have coming in. It becomes too much in this conversation. So we're just kind of doing an overview of the companies, but I can rest assure you it's fun. You reach out to Vendy, she'll give you the directions at the end, and you can do a deeper dive with each one of them and kind of take it there. So Ben, our Z-Loop, which is our environmental company, they're cleaning up plastics. That's what I mentioned earlier. That's well over 16,000 users across the globe. They're actually centered in incorporated out of Dubai, doing a lot of good stuff in various countries.
I am the ocean. Can you remember the last time you heard my voice? Can you remember the last time I brought you peace by looking at me? Please listen to me now, because what I have to tell you is very important. I am the heart of our planet. All life depends on me. I occupy 72% of the entire surface of the Earth. 97% of the water on our planet belongs to me. But I am not just water. Under my surface lives the most extraordinary biodiversity on Earth. I generate more than half of the oxygen we need to breathe. I also share the responsibility for regulating the planet's climate. I absorb carbon dioxide to keep temperatures in balance, and I'm the primary source of protein for millions of people in the world. That's why I need you. That's why I need your help. Plastic is everywhere, even on uninhabited beaches. I have plastic islands. I have one in the Pacific, which comprises the same area as Spain, France, and Germany combined. Scientists estimate that 1 garbage truck per minute is dumped into the sea. These dumpings are filled with old tires, fishing nets, bottles, and worse. They generate microplastics, putting all life at risk. According to the United Nations, by 2050, there will be more plastic than fish in my waters. If every person listening to me now takes action, that prediction can be changed. I've spoken with my sister, the forest, and she's experiencing the same problems. She too is very concerned. Brother, she said, I thought human beings were our friends. We provide so much for them. Why are they treating us like that? She questioned me. I told her, Forrest, they don't know the negative effect they're creating. But we have to speak up. We have to let them know. I promise you, I will speak out. I will do something about it. And that is why, my friends, I need you to heed this call. I need you to hear me well. Every decision to help I can get, every offer to do something about it helps. We must have an ocean with more beauty, less waste. Will you be my friend? I need so many, many great friends. It's not too late, but it is urgent. Are you ready to start now? Because there is a solution, a way you can help immediately. I've been shouting this message of the need for the past 10 years, but too few have listened with their heart. Some actually have heard the need. Some who don't even have any money donate their time and energy. Some invest, they call themselves PhilanthroInvestors, and they're doing well by doing good. I'm so happy I found these amazing people. Some call themselves Zalupians, using an app that's revolutionizing the planet, and they are a force for good. I need much more help, but we are moving in the right direction. Soon, I will be able to breathe easily again. Please consider this a special invitation for you to join them. Please. Thank you. The ocean.
Yeah. Gives me goosebumps for sure every single time I hear that. So, yeah, one thing I want to point out, like every time I watch that, I'm like, I don't even care. I don't even care if it's a little bit less. Say I diverted whatever, X amount of my portfolio, 15, 20% of my portfolio over to this movement. I wouldn't even care if it was even a hair bit under. That was kind of my thought myself, like, because it's going to such a better thing. I wouldn't even care, just. So I do want to point that out, but that's not what our target is. We want it to be a win-win on all fronts. We want to deploy the capital. We want to make solid returns for our investors, our clients, our philanthro investors, and we want to engage it in a impactful way. That's what we're wanting to do. So that is PhilanthroInvestors. So anytime you hear someone that they are connected with PhilanthroInvestors, you see our brand on their website, PhilanthroInvestors. The brand is growing quite rapidly on licensing and various things in our partnerships and our portfolio companies. When you do see that, you know what it means. And this current book is out now, which is Housing, Philanthro, Investing. Our founder, Ivan Ans, is releasing books on each of the other areas, life essentials throughout time. So right now, this one is out. You can find this and purchase this in various areas. And a lot more is on the way. We're connecting up with some fantastic people. A couple of you are on this call. Actually, a few of you, more than a couple, are on this call. I consider my partners and my friends in this movement, and I want to thank you all very much for being here and listening to me. And that is PhilanthroInvestors, the quick overview presentation. And I'm going to turn it back over to Carla and Vendy, and they will kind of talk with you on the rest of the agenda for the meeting, the webinar here.